Guys, Luke here from LAGFX. We're back today with a new case study video. This is actually going to be my predictions for 2024 with the Great British Pound to the US dollar market. So if you are interested on seeing my bias and my predictions for 2024 for this market, stay tuned and enjoy the video. If you do go on to enjoy the video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. All the support you guys provide is very much appreciated. And if you aren't subscribed already, and you do enjoy this video, then don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We post videos on a weekly basis. We cover learn to trade videos that are going to help you become a self-sufficient trader. And we give our bias and our thoughts on some of the markets that you'll probably be looking at trading. Now, for those of you who aren't new to this style of video and you've watched a case study of mine before, you'll understand that we always start our case studies by looking at the highest of time frames, just so we can get an overall picture of the market and we can see exactly how price has been playing out over the course of the past 10-15 years. Now, looking here, it's pretty evident that this market has been trading us in a bearish way. We have the production of lower highs and lower lows being introduced into this market. So as a result, we can expect a continuation in this bearish structure. Before we look to actually go short in this market, I think it's important that we find additional pieces of evidence that are suggesting the same thing, as we want to have as much probability as possible that our thoughts and our predictions for this market are going to be correct. There is just one thing that I want to point out before we dive deep into more present data. There is an order block here that has been left unmitigated, that I feel price could come to trade up and into before continuing to trade us lower. Now, when that will be, I don't know. That it could be years from now, it could be months from now. It all depends on how much volume is introduced and how quickly and volatile this market moves. But as of now, I am going to be looking for short positions. However, if we do see a break in this high here, that is when I'll be looking for those bullish opportunities to trade us up and into this area of supply. But for the time being, I'm looking for short positions just because we have no suggestion that price is trading us in a bullish way on the higher time frames as of yet. Now, to further add to our bearish bias, you can see here that there is another hidden order block that price has traded up and into and rejected nicely to the downside. Now, yes, we have been delivered with this large green candle here, and I feel this is to clear any efficient structure that may be left over in this wick, which will go down on time frames in a moment just to double check. But I feel that's why we have seen some bullishness over the course of the last 3 months. Now, as we go down to the weekly time frames, you can see a little bit more clearly the order block that we've actually highlighted. This green candle here represents an order block that the institutions have left over in order for them to take advantage of. Now, similarly to the Euro US dollar analysis, we have actually been delivered with a break of structure to the downside, which does suggest a continuation in bearish structure. Now, I'm just going to clear some of the lines that I've drawn. But you can see here that if we just refine our zone ever so slightly, you can see that price is traded into this area of supply perfectly. As a result of price trading into this area of supply, we have actually seen a break of structure to the downside. Now, again, if you are new to this channel or my strategy, a break of structure and a penetration of a supply or demand zone are two things that suggest price is ready to reverse. Why? Because price is traded into an area of supply. Price has then gone on to break structure to the downside. So that tells me that this bullish correction here that was once trading us in a bullish way has traded into an area of supply where buy positions have been offloaded, so have been closed, and short positions, sell positions have been injected into the market, which has given us that S&D flip. So rather than demand outruling supply in the market, we are now seeing that that's flipped to the opposite side, and supply is now outweighing the demand in this market. So because of that, we've obviously had this impulsive wave that has broken structure to the downside, And as we know, in bearish structure, what do? We break the lows and protect the highs. So this high should be protected, and we should be continuing to set lower lows and lower highs moving forward. We keep this in mind that this is now, or probably is going to be, a protected high, and that we should see the creation of a new lower high before a lower low follows. So if we go down to the daily timeframes, what we need to be doing now is looking at the impulsive wave that broke the structure to the downside, which is this one here. So this impulsive wave is what broke the structure to the downside. So we want to be seeing, or we want to be finding, areas of interest and areas that price may trade up and into to grab any remaining supply before trading goes lower yet again. So I mean, looking here, all of this data has been cleared up to this point. There is a hidden order block within this this area here. I can see that on this time frames. If we just zoom in ever so slightly, you can see that we have a wick to the downside followed by a wick to the upside. So what that suggests is that there must be some kind of bullishness inside of this, because price will have had to trade back up to close this candle here. Price has then opened, and there's been a continuation in bullishness before price has then traded us lower. We've seen that price hasn't mitigated that area. So this is a point of interest for us. I'm going to go ahead and mark that out. And if we drag this across, we'll see that price has traded into this point perfectly and rejected nicely to the downside. So this again is suggesting that our analysis and the thought process that we are having with this market is playing out as we predict. Now, as we continue to go down on the time frames, I'm just going to refine my analysis ever so slightly. I like to keep things nice and neat. Let's just continue to look at this area just so we can see if there is anything we may have missed. Well, I can see here, actually, there are a few areas that have been left unmitigated, and that could be areas where price would reverse from. So this is definitely one of them. This is an unmitigated order block. We also have another wick to the downside followed by a wick to the upside and a large bearish move that follows. So this is another area of interest for me. Is there anything else? There is this here as well, but I'm pretty adamant that's been cleared. We would say this would be an area, but you can see price traded into that beautifully before continuing trading as lower. So we'll just head down to the hour time frames. I just want to double check on this move. Okay, perfect. So as we go down on time frames, it does present itself to us, so that's lovely. So now we have 4 areas of supply that price may trade into to clear before trading goes down, and creating that new lower low in this market. Now, because we have 4 points of interest and we don't know which one price is going to reverse from, it's important now that before we look to go short in this market, we are delivered with the right confluence and we have the confirmation we need in order to actually execute any bearish positions. So in order for me to look to go short in any one of 4 points of interest, I would want to see a break of structure to the downside. So you can see here that this would be the last protected low within this bullish structure, as this low created this high. This is the highest high within this bullishness. We've not had a break in this low yet, so this is still within a bullish corrective phase, so I shouldn't be looking for any short opportunities as of yet. Price may continue to trade us in a bullish way, okay? Price may trade into this. We may see a correction before a continuation in bullishness. What we want to see is for price to trade into a zone, for price to break structure to the downside. That would suggest an end to this bullish corrective wave. We then want to see price pull back to set its first lower high, and then obviously trade us lower down and into this market where we can take advantage of the bearishness that follows. So you can see here, price continues to trade us in a bullish way. We then have a break of structure to the downside. That is the confirmation we need of price ending or coming to an end of this bullishness, the S&D balance flipping, and then we look to go short in this market from the new lower high that is created. What do we do when price breaks structure to the downside or the upside? Well, we look at the impulsive wave that's broken the structure, and we try and find areas of interest that price may come to trade into to set those lower highs or higher lows depending on the direction. You can see that we've done that We've done that here. So we waited for a break of structure to the downside. We then looked at the impulsive wave that broke the structure, and we found a few areas of supply that price could trade into. And then all we do is we complete that same process more fractally, and we do this over and over and over again until we have a very, very refined zone that we can work with. So we wait for another break of structure to the downside. We look at the impulsive wave that broke the structure, wait for price to pull back up and into that. We then wait for another break of structure in and around that zone, and then obviously continue that process until we are in a low enough time frame where we feel confident in the position and we have a good risk to reward ratio, and then we execute our trades. So in order for me to look to go short in this market, I will be waiting for a break of structure in and around these zones fractally, and then I'll be looking to go short in this market. But ultimately I am looking to go short until we have a break in the last protected high within this bullishness, which is actually up here. I am not looking to go long. Yes, there is an area of supply way higher up, and price could be looking to trade up and into this before trading goes lower. We have no suggestion that price is within a higher time frame bullish phase. As I say, we would need a break of structure from here in order to suggest that. Now you may be wondering, why am I even concerned or looking at this as a potential area that price may trade up and into? And the reason for this is because if you look at the data, we had very large impulses initially. We had very large impulses and short corrections. What we've seen since is this is the start of the impulse, this is the end of the impulse. And the correction is almost as long as the impulse. So this tells me that overall, this market is slowing down in terms of supply, and it looks as though demand is picking up. You can see how close these lows are as well to each other, which again suggests that there is a lot of demand at these points, and price is really starting to slow in terms of supply. So I am maybe thinking price may come to set a low here to actually trade us back up, to then set us a lower high before obviously continuing to trade us down in a bearish way. Now I do believe this is a bearish market and it's going to continue to trade us bearish. However, we may see that price trades us up and into this area here to set that lower high before setting a new lower low. But unfortunately, in order for us to look for bullish opportunities and to look to go long in this market, we want to see some kind of confluence that suggests price is within a bullish corrective phase. We won't get that until we have a break in the last protected high that's been set within this higher time frame bearish leg. So because of that, I am looking for short opportunities from one of four zones, and I've kind of given you my thought process with where and what we could be looking at. And the confirmation we need in order to actually enter in on these markets. So what I'm going to do is I am going to highlight these out, these four zones for you all, just so you can mark them out yourselves, and you can apply them to your own charts. Okay, cool. So I've marked out those four areas for you all. If you want to pause the video now and just take the time to take note of these areas in price, then you guys can go and apply them to your own charts whenever you feel like it, or you can just keep note of them and see how price plays over time. But those are definitely areas of supply that we could see price reverse from. So obviously create this new leg taking us lower. What I'll also do is I will mark out this supply zone way up here. As I say, this may be something that price doesn't approach or we don't see for a long while, but it's worth noting and having there on your charts if you're someone who is going to be active in these markets for years to come. But yeah, as you can see, these are the increments here. We have 1.6060 to 1.6258. Okay, so head back to the weekly time frames. You can kind of see now my thought process with this and what my shorter term goals are, my longer term goals are. So definitely looking for short positions for the time being. I've given you the zones and areas to look to go short from. Just wait for the confirmation before entering. I do believe we could see price trade up in a bullish way. We just need confirmation, additional confirmation, before we look to actually take part in those bullish opportunities. Earlier I said this was the last protected high. That was wrong. The last protected high is this one. So it is a little bit lower, but this is the last protected high here. Why is this the last protected high? Because this high here created the lowest low. We had a high here that created this low. This high here created this low. So this is the last protected high. So once we have a break in that, we could then look to go long or look for those long opportunities. But until then, we would be stupid in doing so, just because we've not really been delivered with the right confirmation to look to go long. But that's my thought process on the Great British Pound to the US dollar. Again, I don't want to stress, but we could see a price trade up into that supply zone. We just need to wait for the right confirmation. If you're someone who's quite preemptive and someone who may want to look to go long, what you could do is you could use the breakup structure here to the upside as something to build your bias. And then you would just be looking for areas of demand that price may trade down and into before continuing to trade us in a higher higher and up and in this market. So price may trade up and into one of these areas of supply, like I've predicted, trade us down again, like I've predicted, trade us down and into a demand zone before then taking us all the way up and into this supply zone here. So to add to our bias and to add to our analysis today, those are some of the things that you could look out for. We may see price trade in to an area of supply where we can look to go short. Price may then trade down and into this area of demand before then trading us higher. Why is this an area of demand? Because what I've done is I've highlighted an unmitigated order block that's been left over on the weekly timeframes. Go ahead onto the weekly timeframes on the Great British Pound to US dollar market, mark this out for yourself. But that's my analysis for the Great British Pound to the US dollar. I'm not going to add to anything else. I'm not going to say anything more. That's my thought process. You've got my lower time frame analysis and my thoughts, my predictions, and you have my higher time frame predictions and my longer term predictions for this market. Let's see how price plays out. It'll be interesting to come back to this market in 6 months' time, see how we have traded against it, see how well our analysis has played out based on today's video, and to see if we've had to alter anything along the way. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If there's anything I've gone through today that you're unsure about, anything you don't understand, please leave them in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions or create videos based on your questions. If you aren't subscribed, as I said, don't forget to subscribe. We post videos just like this on a daily and weekly basis. And if you are looking for a mentor or a community to trade with and work with, head down to the link in the description, join our Learning Lounge group chat, and give us a message. We are more than happy to take on new clients. We are taking new clients on as of this year. So if you are interested in learning how to trade and to further develop your Forex skills, then don't hesitate in dropping one of the LAGFX team a message. Now, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate all your support, and we'll catch you all in the next one.